Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Simon Cheng is a Chinese heritage Scottish government worker, ex-government worker. He no longer works for them. But back in 2019, whilst working within the Scottish government but abroad in China, he was abducted by the Chinese state police, held captive for 15 days, abused, tortured, he says, before being released and sent back to Scotland. He now says that he feels appalled by the way the Scottish government is appeasing and basically kowtowing, quite literally, to the Chinese government. And I think he has a point. And he's calling for the Chinese government, to be rejected by the Scottish government, to stop fawning over them, hoping for Chinese cash, hoping for influence with the Chinese people. He says it's not Scotland's place to do this. And given the history of human rights in China, it's quite wrong. And indeed, he's right. The SNP always go on about, equality and human rights, and we've got to protect this group and that group. And then they cozy up to the Chinese, whose record on human rights is, frankly, appalling. So why are they doing it? Well, money, one thinks. Of course, it was only, and correct me, was it the Ling Funk or something, or the Funk Loony Fuck or something, the Chinese restaurant, which was acting as a frontis for the Chinese state police operating in Scotland, and which was all connected with Nicola Sturgeon, of all people. And so this only broke about 18 months ago, if you cast your mind back. I can't remember the name of the cafe, but it's something like that. And so there is this presence in Scotland, and it seems to be with agreement, or in agreement with, the Scottish Assembly. Why are they doing this? What have the Chinese got on the SNP leadership that they're allowed such lax leeway? And of course, this is the problem. They've got Xing Zhegang, who is the Chinese ambassador. He seems to have a very unhealthy relationship with John Swinney now. Previously had a very unhealthy relationship with Nippy. And it's all very hand in each other's pocket, isn't it? And you have to ask, where's the money? How do these? Because there's undoubtedly money involved. So where's the money going? Who's given it? There's all sorts of pictures available with the Chinese meeting the SNP. Surely the SNP shouldn't be meeting anyone from abroad, because they don't have a foreign policy. It's a reserved matter. And I bet with all of these meetings with the Chinese, there is no such thing as an FCO, Foreign and Commonwealth Office person there, no one from the Diplomatic Corps or the Cabinet Office, anything like that. There'll be no oversight, despite being told time and time again they have to. What it actually takes is someone with balls, so obviously not Keir Starmer, to say, if you meet with someone again, we're going to have you for treason. The Americans have an act, and the Logan Act it's called, and it stops anyone outside of the government treating with foreign governments. And it's a form of treason, and you can go to prison for the remainder of your life if you break the Logan Act. We need something similar here, I think. But the oppressive regime of the Chinese needs to be rejected. We stop kowtowing to them. We reject them. We say, look, unless you start treating people properly, we're just not going to deal with you. And the Chinese, are dead fearful of Trump. Trump knows, for example, and as the world knows, that there are fields in China filled with over 1 million electric cars. And China is near desperate to sell those cars to the West because they can't sell them in China. And so, like Trump said, that when he gets in, he's putting a 100% tariff on Chinese-made electric cars, meaning no one will buy an electric car in China. He's saying it's to protect the American market. I think the EU needs to do the same. Britain needs to do the same. All countries need to do the same. 100% tariff on everything made in China, and force Chinese jobs to go and bring the jobs back to the West. And that, of course, would then mean we've got control of our economy and China can do what it likes. It won't be allowed to play at the big boy table while it abuses people. Anyway, I shall stop there because it's something I would get very angry about with the way they're doing it. But this guy, Simon Chung, is absolutely right. The SNP need to say no Ni hao ma, off you go to the Chinese. Thanks very much. Bye.